Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. So me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Tangled Stars. So I'm going to be trying something a little bit different, guys. I think I'm going to be making the videos just a little bit shorter so I can get more of them out for you. Yeah, I just want to run it and see. I just want to see if making them a little bit shorter will help. Yeah. Anyway, y'all, let's I'm just gonna test it. It's not permanent. I'm just gonna test it for a couple videos and see how it does. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Okay. All right. She goes off again to aid the other customers. I look down at my ice cream, and surely it does look like what its name suggests. Despite its already white color, the syrup has a bluish-white tint to make it seem as if the moon was shining upon it. I waste no time and pick up my spoon, scooping up a considerable amount of it. The moment it makes contact with my taste buds, I feel my eyes start to water. It's so good. I don't think I've ever had such an amazing sweet delight. I look over to Alder, and surely he's on the cloud 9 of flavor as well, as he's covered his mouth in shock. This is amazing. No kidding. After a few more spoonfuls, I start a conversation topic with him about his projects, and like that, we take small bites now and then while talking. After that, I was walking through a forest and I saw this adorable red cardinal, and I thought, well, it would surely fit the theme. Just as Alder was telling me about his rarest find in photography, I see Maple sit down at a close table, looking dejected down at the floor. I look back to Alder with a worried look and nod back to Maple. He realizes what I'm trying to say, and he gets up. I'll be back. I'll be back. He walks over to Maple and talks with her for a minute or so. After they finish, he comes back with Maple walking alongside him, a comical comparison in size. She can't be taller than 4'8" or so. It's an ironic contrast to Alder's 6'3". He sits back down in his chair, and Maple pulls out a chair in between us. Hi again! How's the ice cream? It's amazing, really, we love it. She looks over to Alder and nods as well. That's wonderful! I tried to make it as well as I could. Wait, you made this? Well, of course. Some of the things you see on the menu are made on the spot. I'm the only one here who prefers to make ice cream fresh, and I can only do some recipes. That's amazing. Thank you. Do you guys store the ingredients on those shelves behind the workers? I look over to the shelves, a bit confused by the off-topic question. We do. Why the question? Don't you have difficulty reaching them? Alder takes another bite. Was just thinking that you'd use a stool or something. And he goes back to eating. Oh. She leans over the table slightly in his direction. Listen here, you fucking overgrown beanstalk. I can reach those shelves just fine without your concern. As I look over to her, I get chills running down my back as she somehow held an innocent smile on her face, also having a menacingly heavy aura about her at her. Now take that back before I break your lower legs. See Alder's hand tremble slightly on the spoon, and I try so hard not to laugh. He had it coming. Can I get you something? Oh, yes, thank you. He springs back to her chair and switches back almost instantly. Can I please get a rose ripple sundae with a topping of 3 bananas sliced up, strawberries, rainbow sprinkles, and a cherry? Sure, how many scoops? 6. 6? Sure, but how are you going to finish that? Don't worry about that. Alder shrugs and goes off to the counter to order up. I guess ice cream is what gets Maple not to kill you? So, yes? Mind telling me about yourself? We kinda are spending my break sitting together munching on ice cream, so... Yeah, sure. Well, as I said, I'm Jonah Usher. 20 years old, I study journalism at uni, 2nd year right now. I'm not interesting, really. I guess I like stargazing, but that's about it. Aw, how lovely and romantic! Well, I'm Maple Cade. I'm 18 and just about to start studying performing arts after summer. There's just so many things I like, it would be near impossible to narrow it down. But I guess my top choices are K-pop. Oh, I love it so much! Cooking, eating, gardening, parachuting, fishing, hiking, making music, drawing. There's so many more, but those are my favorite ones. Anyways, enough about that. I have a burning question which I need to ask you. She leans in close to me as if about to gossip. How long have you been dating that cute guy? I jump back in my chair. Alder? No, you got it wrong. We're not dating. Yet. Never will. For one, he's not my type at all, and 2, he's completely straight. He told me himself. So, you asked him out? No. It came up in our conversation. He simply said he doesn't swing that way, and we just moved on. Besides, I see him as a sibling, if anything. Oof, friend zone. She leans back and places the back of her hand on her forehead, as if fainting in a dramatic soap opera. The worst pain in the world! Being rejected in such a way is friend zone! It makes me giggle, and we start to chuckle among ourselves. A while later, Alder comes over with Maple's order. What? Thank you! He places it in front of her and goes back in his chair, huffing out loud. That thing should not be as heavy as it is. Oh, that reminds me. Andy texted me earlier telling me about how he needs some help moving some things for the festival. And you're clearly the strongest of the group. It would be really helpful if you'd be there too. Yeah, sure. I have nothing better to do anyways. Alright. I really wonder what he's going to do there, though. He's Andy. So it'll most likely be something dumb, like some game people can play or selling bathing suits. That sounds like him. Yeah. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Maple and my jaw drops to the floor mid-sentence. What the hell? Hardly 2 minutes past, our sundae was already down to half a scoop left. In one graceful swoop, she finished up the ice cream. We both simply stare at her, dumbfounded. She lets out a sigh of pleasure. Ooh, that was so good! Should have added some chocolate chips, too. How in the hell did you eat that monster so fast? For someone so tiny, you... Don't finish that sentence if you want to live. Oh no. Her hand watch beeps softly underneath the table. Oh, well, that's the end of my break. She hands a piece of paper over to Alder. You guys should text me. That was the nicest time I've had in a really long while. Thank you a lot for it. See you around. She rushes off to the other customers, leaving us to look at each other. Alder opens the folded piece of paper she gave me, finding her number along with the money for her order. She didn't need to pay me for it, though. It was a treat. It was quite a big treat, though. One could say you did it because you might be interested. Shut up. He gets up. Come on, it's time to go. Wait up. Alder takes a deep breath as we exit the locale, and a tiny smile creeps up on the side of his muzzle. Smells like a week to remember, all right. Say, you free tomorrow? I have something planned beside helping Andy, I think. Why's that? Wanted to ask you if you'd want to tag along with me to the festival. I have nothing better to do, so I guess. In my pocket, my phone vibrates. A notification from Andy flashed softly. Hey, pretty boy, you finished with Alder? We just got out of the place. Why? Let's go for a walk in the park. I need to talk to you about some things. Sure, I'll see you soon. What is it? Andy wants to meet up. Oh, all right. Well, I better get going. Yeah, see ya. See ya. Before we leave, he hesitates to do something. You all right? Yeah, just... He hesitates again, but after a second, he moves quickly over to me and hugs me. Huh? Something he never does to anyone. You okay there, buddy? You've been acting God all day. Of course I'm fine. He doesn't break off, though, and I just feel his warmth against me. I hug back, and then he finally does break off. Although he did whatever that was, his face has the same stoic, serious expression. See you then. As he leaves, I saw a slight tint of red under his fur. Must be the heat. No, I think he likes you. The sun was still out in the late summer afternoon. Its embers reached down and washed over us all. It tickled the plump leaves that hung high in the trees which stood tall above us. As if on cue, a gentle breeze brushed past us, making my hair elevate slightly against my forehead. Andy, who was walking at a steady pace alongside me, took in a deep breath, a half-smile creeping up. Don't you love it? I look over at him and raise a brow. Love what? This! He gestures around with his arm. Life itself, I guess. It's also precious. As we were walking, I take another look around me, and see how indeed there was a lot surrounding us. Children laughing and chasing each other, radiating with joy and purity. Dogs running over after sticks or toys without a care in the world. People of all kinds, either taking pictures to immortalize the moment, lying on the floor and enjoying the day, or reading under the shade of a tree. It's things like this that make my soul feel light, that make my body feel weightless. The thought of lying on a bedding of grass, feeling the slight cool breeze caress my cheek, looking upon the clouds above and seeing the occasional bird gliding majestically. The tranquility, the peace that surrounds these small pockets of the world. If only we could spread this calm atmosphere to the rest of the world, we could all be happy. We could put an end to the suffering. This world is not just delicate, it's ethereal. It's beyond precious. We walk a bit further before we arrive at a clearing, away from the clamor and voices of people, a safe haven showered in sunlight. 2 lone benches sat close to each other, looking like time peeled away their splendor. A sense of nostalgia hits over me, although I cannot quite put my finger on what it clings to. It's sad that these two are rusting away. Andy walks over to one of them and runs his finger along the stained wood. The once rich color now became dust crumbling under Andy's touch. He had a somber, sad smile on his face as he analyzed the bench. It's still here. He gestured for me to come over, and I crouched next to him. A faint A was etched on one of the bench's metal legs, washed away by the rain and rust. We've been here before, haven't we? He stands up and looks down at me with a melancholic smile. Of course we have. After all, this is where I met you all those years ago. Ah, that's right. It was a few weeks after Andy's accident, wasn't it? I get up and sit on the other bench, brushing my hand over the letter J, which I etched into its wood. He takes a seat on the other one, and he looks up at the swaying leaves above us. Closing his eyes, he listens to the soft melody sang by the summer birds. Along with them, he starts to hum something. Everything stays right where you left it. Everything stays, but it still changes. Everything so slightly, daily and nightly, and little ways when everything stays. I close my eyes and take a slow breath, remembering that day. It was around this time of the year, right when the birds' chirping would start to come out. After what happened on that alleyway, I didn't like being around people anymore. I'd mainly stay inside reading all day or sitting beneath a tree and drawing on what I'd see. They weren't masterpieces, of course, but what could an 8-year-old do with little experience? One day I grabbed my book and asked my father to bring me to the park. He just so happened to have an errand to run close to it, so it was just quite convenient how he could check on me and do his job. At the time, the park was very new to me and very empty, with nobody to bother you. I found those 2 benches I was walking around, and I chose to spend my day reading here. As I was doing so, however, I heard some rustling near me. I looked around, and behind a nearby thin tree, a certain blond boy was really trying hard to hide. Ironically, as I said, the tree was thin, so I could easily see him behind it. I called out to him, and he still hid. After I walked over to him, he finally moved from behind the tree. How did you find me? The boy exclaimed, looking as serious as ever. His stupidity and naive innocence made me laugh for the first time in a long while. He was confused, of course, but he joined me. He joined my little laughing fit. After that, he clung on to me like some puppy, asking me what I was reading, what books I like, what kind of things I like overall. It was annoying, but I grew to like the guy, and before long, that boy and I became inseparable, like the moon and the sun. I opened my eyes and let out a soft snort. Everything okay? I nod. Yeah, I'm fine. Just remembering how annoying you were. I was not annoying, thank you. Your boring seriousness was annoying. Yet you stuck with me. In one of the trees above us, I noticed a tiny nest which held no more than 3 little birds just a few days old. They were hungrily calling for their mother, a few high-pitched chirps that got lost in the bundle of leaves around them. Despite that, the mother still heard the call, and soon did she join her children that needed attention. One of her wings was roughed up, yet she still covered the babies with it while feeding them whatever she managed to scavenge. If we would do to each other what she's doing to the little ones, we wouldn't have to worry anymore. But like the crossing winds, hopes pass along with the wishes. Andy snatches my attention with a shaky breath. I've been hearing some things. He was fiddling with his fingers, something he never did. Despite the times, something really unnerving was on his mind. Remember that group you told me about, the Antikin? My stomach sinks as I hear that name again, reminding me of the day when Nobody knows who their leader is, though so many have tried to find them. Their ultimate goal, however, is simply ending the lives of crosskin and harassing anyone who may agree with said couples existing. It's also inhumane. Despite them being such a dangerous group, nobody talks about them. It's as if people are just too frightened to mention them, even the police. I'm scared for you, Jonah. I know you're an ambitious guy, and this is what you set your objective to be. His smile falters. You want to make peace. You have a big heart, and you won't stop until you get there. But I'm just... He clenches his fist slightly. He looks down to the ground. I'm hearing all these stories of what they do to the people they catch, the way they torture them, the way they make their days on Earth a living hell. The pain they bring is indescribable. He takes a sharp breath, full of weight. They're monsters, Jonah, monsters! His voice is a bit strained, as if holding back tears. He looks back at me, his knuckles going white and nails digging into his palms. I just don't want to lose you, too. Tears welled up in his eyes, while his smile still shone like the sun in the summer sky. He wasn't cheeky, he wasn't joking, and neither was he mocking anything. He was hurt, truly hurt, and scared. Something in me breaks, and I rush over to him to embrace him tightly, holding him as close as I can. God, I can't believe you've been feeling like this. I'm so sorry for worrying you, Andy. I really am. If it's that dangerous and it troubles you as much as you tell me it does, then fuck it. I won't pursue that dream anymore. He pushes me back and holds me hard by the shoulders at arm's length. His eyes were filled with terror and sadness a moment ago, but now it's a burning, stern gaze. He wiped his tears on his sleeve and held the pain back. No! Never say that again. If you have a dream, a purpose you want to fulfill, don't let anything stop you from it. He's holding that bitter feeling back. He doesn't want to intervene. I'm always going to be scared of losing you. You're the last family I have. But I'm going to be by your side all the time. If the day comes that you go down, be sure that I'm going with you. Look at him, completely frozen, words stuck in my throat. And I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry it seemed like I don't support you enough regarding that. And I'm sorry if me telling you all this is changing anything in your mindset. I shake my head slowly. He hugs me, and he hugs me tight, sniffling a little. We stay like that for a few minutes, without a word, without a thought. Alright guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that notification bell. Leave a super thanks. Or tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!